Hey there, what's up? Welcome or welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Kat. I guess if you're old here, I'm still Kat, but on here we talk about fashion, shopping, style, stuff like that. So if that sounds cool, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and stick around. Today, we are talking about exactly what I put in this maybe somewhat clickbaity title about an Hermes scarf. So let's do it. Today we're talking about Whatnot, and I do have a Whatnot coupon for you below. This is not sponsored, I just have a coupon for you because it's a really good deal. When I signed up for the app, I did use a coupon, and I'm glad that I did. It really took the pressure off of trying it because it is a somewhat unique site. So if you're kind of on the fence, or if you just like free money, please use the coupon. And if you're watching this timely, Whatnot is actually doing something where the coupon is worth a different amount, and that's randomized. So you will redeem it as you sign up for the app, and then you'll get between $10, you'll get at least $10, but you could get up to, I think, 200. So that's pretty good. That would go really far on Whatnot, actually. So be sure to use that. So I've been shopping on Whatnot for about a year and a half now. And pretty early on when I signed up for it, there was someone who's primarily a fashion seller, not an accessory seller. So mostly women's clothing. And she had this Hermes scarf. And I thought it was just gorgeous. And then I realized that she also had a Poshmark. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll buy it on Poshmark, actually. And long story short, I didn't buy it. I missed out on it. And since then, I've been like, I really want that one. I really want it. So it's one of the Brides to Gala scarves. And I was like, that's so cute. It's one of those situations where I looked at it and I was already coming up with outfits, and then I didn't get it. And so I was like, well, now I need it. So yes, I came across it again the other day. So I'm going to show you the scarves that I got, because I did get two. I got them at two separate times. One was during one show. So if you're not super familiar with Whatnot, I have described it to people before as Twitch meets eBay. And I think that's pretty accurate. So it is someone running a live show for you. It is live streaming, but the primary way that you buy things is through auctions. There are some buy it now elements to it, but generally when the show is running, they may show you a buy it now item, you can make an offer on it, you can buy it, but the bulk of most of the shows that I've ever seen on there are auctions, like clock counting down, people bidding, auctions. You know auctions, have you heard of them? Let me explain auctions to you. They're those. So that's generally what it is like. And so I bought the first one of these in one show during the auction. And then from the same seller, I bought another one a couple weeks later, I think. And to be honest, I popped into her show again because I was like, man, I got that Hermes scarf. I wonder what else she has. And she was auctioning off another Hermes scarf. So I was like, well, don't mind if I do. So I did. Anyway, here's what I got. And I'll just talk about the service a bit as I show it to you. So, starting off, we've got this guy. It's upside down. Here we go. So it's pretty darn large. Ooh, the fan. I have the fan on. The fan's like blowing it in the wind. But it's a really beautiful piece. This is 100% silk. It is everything that you would expect from an Hermes scarf. And I have really wanted to add some Hermes scarves to my collection. I've looked at various different spots. There are a couple of independent consigners that I follow on Instagram, and some interesting sellers across different platforms, Poshmark and stuff, and these were the best deal that I came across. So by no means can I guarantee that you will come across this again, but you might come across something like this. So then here's the other one. This is the one that I actually bought second, but it had really sucked me in earlier. So this is the one that someone else was selling and I didn't end up getting it. I ended up missing out. There it is. So I do plan on wearing them as scarves, but I know that some people will display them as artwork. You can get something like this framed. And I think that that's beautiful. And if that fits into your decor, very cool, and an amazing price for that as well. Both of these are in great condition. There are no flaws to report. And to the very best of my knowledge, they are both authentic. And comparing them to each other and comparing them to other Hermes stuff, I'm not an expert, but I don't see anything that looks different from any other Hermes stuff that I have handled in person. So Whatnot, where I bought this. So Whatnot could even be different. If you're watching this 6 months from now, Whatnot could be considerably different from when I bought this, to be honest. I feel like it's changing rather quickly. They're getting a lot of new customers very quickly. And so I do think that it is still in its sort of developmental stages. However, I have found the wildest deals on stuff like this that I have ever found anywhere. I have found some amazing deals on jewelry, on perfume, and you kind of have to be in the right place at the right time to get some of these deals. These were things that both of these, this seller was essentially auctioning these off to kind of get the crowd warmed up a little bit because the rest of her inventory is much higher ticket than this. It's mostly vintage luxury bags, and even vintage, and sometimes because they're vintage, luxury bags can be very pricey. So this was sort of an entry-level item for her show. And so I think that that contributed to the price for me. But some of it is just watching on the app. There are still a lot of people on the app, and especially newer sellers that are trying to kind of get their foot in the door. They see the bigger sellers doing these $1 starts for auctions. And, kind of depends. Sometimes a $1 start results in a higher buying price than had they even thrown something out. It's not a sure thing that just because it's a $1 start, you're going to get it for less. It's not the case. I would say that the best deals that I've gotten have been on items that maybe other people didn't know as much about as I did, that weren't everyone's taste, and it is my taste. And so not as many people were bidding on it, or when there aren't a lot of people at the show. So you can kind of time your own amazing find based on some of that. I would suggest shopping for things that you know about. Just because they bring up something that has a high ticket name and you're like, oh, I've always wanted one of those. I would either plan to authenticate it after you receive it, or, be willing to let it go if it goes above a price that essentially that you'd be willing to gamble. I have received a fake on Whatnot. I'll make a separate video about that actually, because I received something that was absolutely a fake, and I know that the seller believed it was real. I am confident that they believed it was real, and they just didn't know what they were handling. And that is another thing, that the person that I bought these from, again, I said, like, this is a low ticket item for her. They are well aware of what these brands, and it's what they specialize in. This seller sells primarily things like Dior, Gucci, Hermes, both in terms of bags, accessories, that kind of thing. And so I do trust their expertise. I think that it is helpful to watch a seller for a while to decide whether they have that expertise. Because the fake that I picked up was from someone that sells higher end mall brand stuff, but not designer or luxury. They didn't have designer or luxury. And so I know that it wasn't maliciously intended, but it was helpful that I know what a real one should look like. And so when I received it, there were telltale signs that it was not an authentic item. And Whatnot was really good about handling it. In that specific situation, they had me send it to them. They confirmed that it was indeed a fake and refunded my money. And so they take that very seriously. I mean, selling fakes is illegal, so they shouldn't have their sellers doing it. But it is possible. People could have fakes on there. So if you're looking for something that is luxury, that is something that you really want to add to your collection, then I would just educate yourself. I would be educated before you get into the auction, because there is a real temptation when somebody pulls out the thing and you're like, oh, I've always wanted a Gucci bag. But if you don't know what a Gucci bag looks like, it's hard to know how much to bid on it. It's hard to know if that one's really worth what other people are bidding on it. So that would be my biggest tip. If you're wanting to get something like a luxury accessory, know a bit about it. Know what it goes for on Poshmark, on eBay. If you were to go to Hermes and buy a scarf today, how much does that cost? I think that you should know all of that before you start bidding on Whatnot. The thing with Whatnot is that it is I didn't need to do that, but I'm just going to keep snapping. It is very fast paced, and the temptation to buy it feels like it's going to slip away is very strong. And so if you could be impacted by that, and you know yourself, I would be even more educated. Know what you're looking for, know what it's supposed to look like, know what it's supposed to cost. Because while I found Whatnot to have great customer service in that area of making sure that I was not stuck with a fake, it's still kind of a hassle, right? Sending it and waiting and knowing for sure that it's a fake, all of that. So the more educated you can be, both about what you personally want to buy and what that thing is supposed to look like and supposed to cost. Some other tips on Whatnot, I would say follow sellers that you like. So that is the way that I got both of these. When I saw a seller with great priced, really good quality Hermes scarves, I followed her, and I like a lot of the other stuff that she has as well. If I had a little bit more room for more bags in here, I would definitely go buy one from her. She has this amazing Gucci bag that I want very badly. But she has cute stuff, right? So I'm following her, and if she has a great deal on that Gucci bag, I'm already following her. So I could put so I might get a notification about that bag if I put an alert on it, that kind of thing. So if you're going to be a savvy shopper, sometimes you have to let it go. And that's another reason that I think being highly educated in terms of what you're looking for is very important. You need to know, if you miss out on it today, what the likelihood is of it coming back ever. Because if there are other ones out there, if you've seen them before, then you might see it again on Whatnot, or you might find it on another platform. But I wouldn't overpay just because the auction's happening. So that's something that I would definitely caution you about. Probably know what you want to pay for it. And if it goes a little over that, you can decide what you want to do about that. But if it starts skyrocketing over that, then you need to know, can you find this elsewhere? Is this your chance and it's just more expensive than you thought it was going to be? Or are people overbidding on this one for your tastes? And do you just need to wait until the next one? And the last tip that I would give is to ask questions. Because it is a live stream, because I said that it is like Twitch, generally they will see your comments in real time, the seller, and they can respond. So if I want to know more about the quality, I can ask for them to show it to me. I can take screenshots of it. I can make sure that what I buy is what they actually send me. I can make sure that they are really educated about what they're selling me. That's one of the best ways that I have found in terms of kind of vetting sellers that I do want to follow, is I pay attention when people ask them questions to how they answer and what they answer. Are they someone that I want sourcing things that I'm going to buy? Or do I think that they don't really understand how to describe quality or something yet? Like, a lot of sellers on there are extremely experienced. Some are still learning. And we all know, I have been a longtime reseller myself. That's something that we've talked about on this channel a lot. Sometimes you have to learn some of those things the hard way, that especially with certain brands, the way that you describe wear, or if you find a vintage piece, the description of wear on a vintage piece is different from the description of wear on a new piece. And so asking some of those questions, if they come to mind and if that is important to you, is very important for you getting what you want and feeling good about what you got. But anyway, thanks for hanging out and taking a look at these amazing finds. I'm so excited to have added these to my collection. I've really been getting into scarves recently, and so I'm excited to have a couple of real statement scarves that I can use. So absolutely lovely. And yeah, so that's what I've got for you today. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to subscribe if you want to hear more about Whatnot or about other deals that you can get different places. But if you have those questions about Whatnot, leave them below. I will answer them in a future video or down below in the comments. And I'm sure other people would be happy to help as well if you have any questions or concerns. But anyhow, thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for looking at these fabulous finds. And I'm currently doing Vlogmas, so I should have a video up tomorrow. So if you're not already subscribed, please get over there and subscribe. Hit that bell icon. Just hit as many buttons as possible. Click all the buttons and watch all the videos. But if you're not watching this timely, I do put out a video every Monday. So still subscribe and tune in next Monday for another video. Okay, bye.